Dear Madam, we take pleasure to inform you that your son has been elected to the Chipmunk Tribe, Camp Nabawawanaki. Your chipmunk will appear at the downtown bus terminal in Chicago at 7 a.m. on June 10th to assemble. I give you my personal assurance we return a more manly boy to you. Sincerely, Colonel D.G. Bullard, retired U.S. Army, Camp Director. Although many can remember the rigors of summer camp, some just as eagerly anticipated returning home. One bus ride is all it takes from this young narrator from A Fistful of Fig Newtons by Gene Shepard. We pulled up at the bus terminal at precisely 6:50. Already a million mob of kids formed on the main lobby with a canvas banner that read Camp Nabawawanaki. A short round-faced man wearing a khaki uniform stood in a folding chair amid the mob. I'm Captain Crabtree. Now all you campers, listen carefully. The excitement was electric. I spotted Shorts in the crowd. Hey Shorts, I hollered. I said, listen! Captain Crabtree stared through his glasses at me. I could tell I already made my first false move. Say all your goodbyes and make it snappy. Move out at 0700. All chipmunks, raise your hands. As this is your first year, you will wear your chipmunk cap at all times, so you can be readily identified as a chipmunk. Lieutenant Kneecap, who doubled as a bus driver, stumbled onto the platform carrying a huge cardboard box. I pressed forward as to not miss my cap, and I quickly jammed it onto my head. I could barely see out from under it, and it came way over my eyes, barely seeing out from under the brim. They're all the same size, Lieutenant Kneecap said over and over again as he passed them out. Now all you chipmunks, Captain Crabtree shouted, but just as he did, I noticed Schwartz's beanie sat on top of his head like a little green tennis ball. Captain Crabtree began shouting. Line up on the platform. You will sit in a group at the rear of the bus. A chipmunk does not speak unless spoken to. The non-chipmunks were a head taller and a foot wider than any of us. They had the kind of faces kids who smoke have. They wore identical blue jackets, and Captain Crabtree called them beavers. All right, chipmunks, onto the bus, single file there, move out! We surged to the rear. I squatted down in the back between Flick and Schwartz. Kissel sat a few rows up, next to a big, fat chipmunk who looked scared and was sobbing quietly. Up front, Lieutenant Kneecap started the engine with a roar. As it bellowed out, the fat chipmunk next to Kissel wailed and began sobbing uncontrollably. I ain't gonna go! I don't wanna. Lieutenant Kneecap peered wearily around from the driver's seat with the expression of one who had witnessed this scene many times before. Oh, you can't make me go! The fat chipmunk had hurled himself onto the floor of the bus, and he was crawling towards the door with all of his limbs that he could. Captain Crabtree grabbed him by the scruff of his neck and said in a cold, level voice, Chipmunks do not cry. You will have no crime. Fatso instantly stopped bawling. Put that hat back on, Chipmunk. Now! Pale and shaken, the fat chipmunk slumped down next to Kissel. The lieutenant threw the bus into gear and would slowly pull down the terminal. Captain Crabtree stood swaying in the aisle. In 3 hours, we'll arrive at camp. If you have to go to the toilet, you will hold it until then. I had already felt faint stirrings, and now that he mentioned it, they flared up pretty badly. We'll now sing the Camp Nabawawanaki loyalty song. It's sung to the tune of Old MacDonald Had a Farm. You all know it, la-da-da-da, dee-dee-dum, Captain Crabtree sang tonelessly. Now all together, I want to hear some life in it. Nabawawanaki, E-I-E-I-O. With a weenie roast here and a snipe hunt there, E-I-E-I-O. With a leathercraft here and a volleyball there, E-I-E-I-O. There were 37 verses, which made references to pillow fights, totem poles, Indian trails, and the like, with the concluding blast. Colonel Bullard is our chief. We love him, yes we do. Nabawawanaki, E-I-E-I-O. Again, the bus exploded in a roar of cheers and stompings. Boy, look at those gray jackets all the big kids have, Schwartz said enviously. And what's that yellow thing on the front? Kissel, who overheard us, squinted closely at the beaver sitting in front of him. I don't know, his stage whispered. It kinda looks like a picture of a rat holding an ice cream cone. Just then, the fat beaver stood up, his bull-like neck bulging red with rage as he turned savagely, baring yellow teeth. That's the sacred golden tomahawk of Chief Tonga Kong, you stupid little freak! Though just then, the fat chipmunk, without warning, again hurled himself onto the floor of the bus as the skinny chipmunk yelled out, "Hey, he's doing it again!" Captain Crabtree rose ominously. "Get out!" he barked. The fat chipmunk lay sprawled in the aisle, kicking his feet like a grounded frog, his arms held rigidly to his sides. The entire busload of kids, all of whom from time to time had themselves practiced tantrum throwing, recognized a tour de force performance. "I said, get up!" The fat chipmunk quivered again, this time producing a venomous hissing sound. An interesting detail. "What was that?" The captain's voice was menacing. The hissing continued, accompanied by a curious sideways writhing of the body that produced a rhythmic thumping as his plump buttocks dropped on the floor. "Okay!" Captain Crabtree barked. Reaching down with a quick swooping motion, he hauled the fat chipmunk to his feet. Instantly, Faz's leg turned to rubber and counterattacked. The fat chipmunk seemed to have swelled up like a toad, his face turning beet red. Just as the captain was about to lower him to his feet, he let out his ultimate crusher, a master stroke of the tantrum thrower's art. For a moment, none of us could comprehend what just happened. It was done so quickly, so cleanly, so deliberately. The captain staggered back. A pungent odor filled the rear of the bus. The fat chipmunk seemed to have shrunk 2 sizes as he exuded his satisfaction at a job well done. "Stop the bus!" the captain hollered brokenly. "Now!" The captain rushed up the aisle and out the front door. Immediately, the crowd broke up into an uproar. The fat chipmunk had won instant respect. His voice rising in excitement, Kissel asked, "Hey kid, how'd you do that?"